There's got to be at least 100 YouTubers that start their day or their video getting a cup of Joe or Java or some coffee from some expensive coffee house with a premium price, and then asking patrons to build or take care of the bill for them. I'm not that guy. I mean, the Woo, well, he doesn't do it. Tampa J doesn't do it. I'm not sure about the guy in Sarasota. They don't even give, but you know, they always start their videos off with coffee, and they don't even give coffee its fair due. Speaking of fair dues, this is my brand. You know the rules. You want to see the label? Play the sponsorship game. Hey, it worked for the booze company. They said no. Let's move on. The first thing that grinds my gears about this, coffee is not a bean, it's a seed. Seed. Hey. All right. But there's some fun history here. And here's where coffee really starts off at. 9th century. Some hill in Ethiopia. Some goats. Some lonely goat herder. I'm not going to break into a song title from Sound of Music. He notices that his goats are so tired. Let's see, what's his name? Kaldi. His goats are so tired they can barely make it up the hill. Yet, when they come down, they are playful, full of energy, having a great time. So he grew curious. The next day, he goes up the hill with them, and he sees them eating these blossoms and berries and seeds or off this evergreen tree. And he knows they come down, they are playful, energetic, they're revived. So he had a couple of these berries. And he felt a little vitality too. Once again, as weird as they are, that's us. They say I don't say it enough, but I'm here to make history fun. Make it up. So he starts doing it as well. Pretty soon, we'll say in the 15th century, cultivation or growing of coffee trees or bushes or whatever you want to call them gets started pretty much in Yemen, but it spreads across the Arabian Peninsula. The Muslim culture starts to take it in. They know some of the monasteries, when they have long prayer vigils, they consume a lot of beverage, a lot of this beverage coffee. And it helps stimulate them through the rigors of the monastery during their prayer sessions that went on for hours. So the Islamic community starts to develop coffee houses for this beverage. I think they were called Baba Kanak. I'm not very good on this, but that's the best I can do. But secondary, besides serving these beverages, which I guess made everybody really anxious or stimulated, was conversation. A lot of good conversation about like mathematics or politics or stars or social reaction. All right, so now by the 17th century, and that would be the 1600s, Billy Bob, coffee comes into being known in Europe, probably by the Venetians, who, traded everything. And the like happened in Europe. Cities like London, Paris, Vienna, Milan, coffee houses were established. These were called penny universities because of the cost of the coffee and the fact that there was such debates going on here about politics and mathematics, astronomy, that you could get a good brew and maybe learn something while you were there. Also, they shared a lot of news because most of these cities were like crossroads or center of transportation system. So let's speed up. We'll go into the 18th century, and everybody knows what's happening in the 18th century because if you're European, you are moving west, following the sun, colonizing the new world. Wink, wink. So, with the explorers, with everything else, they take the coffee beans with them that they got from Yemen or Ethiopia, and they start planting them in plantations in the Caribbean, Central and South America, and they begin to flourish because of the tropics, constant rains. Later on in that century, they spread to Southeast Asia as well, like Indonesia. Over 70 countries now grow coffee beans, or seeds, coffee is by far one of the most popular beverages. They put McDonald's to shame. Billions a day are served. With cream, sugar, whatever. I have mine with heavy whipping cream. And once again, if you want to get on board the Caffeine Choo Choo Express sponsorship, and the tag comes off. But moving on. I think, as I said, coffee beans are seeds, technically a fruit. The trees produce like a jasmine scented blossom, and it only lasts about a couple of days. And shortly the fruit becomes what they call coffee cherries, and they turn bright red. The taste of the skin is really bitter, but the flesh inside, really sweet and tasty. Inside, though, the flesh, you find the blue-green seeds. And these are made up of what they call coffee cherries. There's usually 2 of them. Like I said, it's an evergreen tree, and it can grow up to about 20 feet tall, but generally they're trimmed back to 9 foot. It takes a picker about 100 to 200 pounds of these cherry fruits to make that pound. So it's about 2,000 of them. And each cherry has about 2 seeds, so 4,000 of these so-called beans to make a pound. Each cherry has usually 2 seeds, but if one comes up, they only have 1 seed. This is called a pea berry. And it's usually got a stronger flavor because it's the 2 seeds probably put together as one. And it's a little bit different. So there you go. That's a short history about coffee, coffee beans, seeds. But thanks for watching Books, Travels, History, and Tells, where I try to make history a little fun. But here's a little bit more, something, a little side note. While stopping at Andrew Jackson's Harmridge near Nashville, Tennessee, our youngest president, Theodore Roosevelt, go ahead and check that out. Theodore Roosevelt had a cup of coffee. Upon consuming the beverage, I kid you not, he said, "Delighted. This coffee is good to the last drop." Well, that's history. Well, at least according to General Foods, the owner of Maxwell House Coffee. Well, that's it. It's all in the past. Come back tomorrow. We'll talk about today. See ya. Oh, good luck there, AJ, with Will. Bye.